You know, we've been home quite a bit. We've been home like at least probably 4 or 5 days a week. So kind of is harder, you know, once you get in this tour schedule where you're gone a little more. But we still actually, surprisingly enough, find ways to get home, you know, for a few days a week. And so it doesn't feel too bad. But you know, it's going to get on the Crowns tour this fall. It's going to get pretty tough.
Yeah, pretty busy.
Yeah,
I was looking at you guys booked out. But we have, you know, a bunch of Ohio dates, so we're happy about that. Going to be down in Cedarville, and of course the big show, the big one, the crown jewel of the fall tour, is the Bowling Green. Opening up, you guys are the inaugural act of the Stroh Center. Did you realize that?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. When I found that out, I was pretty excited, actually.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I went to BG for a few years, actually. So I used to walk around that campus.
Yes.
I had dreams of playing there one day.
Not the Anderson Arena, probably.
No, but that should be cool. So August 13th, we'll be there with 10th Avenue North. Have a good old time.
Yeah. It's going to be a great show. By the way, my cousin is in charge. He runs the Stroh Center.
Who's that?
Chris. His name's Chris.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, you'll know. So if you know,
awesome.
I'll make sure you have an extra peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'm going to word it for you, man.
Hey. I do know Mark loved peanut butter and jelly.
Because he was talking about when he was having his drum clinic, and he was in promoting that, and he had his drum clinic, and we got on to talking about, and I don't know how we did, but we got on to talking about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And,
okay, see, I thought you were just guessing. I was like, wow, that's right on.
No.
Mark eats like 2 or 3 peanut butter and jellies a day.
Yeah, if these guys are around, it's just me with courseware to talk about some.
Yeah, we're
gonna see how it goes.
That's the way it is. That's the way he rolls.
Something
love
like
that. So his love for peanut butter and jelly. So let me start with you, Matt, because I know you. First of all, come with a new album, solo album that you came out with, and called Every Falling Tear, and talking about really inspired by your son Bowen. So let's start with there. How is Bowen doing?
He's doing great. You know, he's doing well. He's doing overall. He's doing really well. There's always a few little things that pop up here and there with these kids. You know, like lately we've been having some issues with Bowen. You know, eating right, and he's not really acquiring taste for new foods, and it's been hard to get him to I guess develop in that area a little bit.
He's been hanging around Mark too much.
Yeah, he's been. All he wants to eat is peanut butter and jelly because Uncle Mark over there is a bad influence. He's not getting the proper nutrition. You know, there's just the craziest things you have to watch, and so overall though he's just doing really great, and a few little things that I think we'll probably always have to keep our eye on with him and work a little extra hard at. But yeah, I mean, you mentioned that the album, you know, comes out in September, but we do have 2 singles. Kind of one song a month comes out for 4 months. So last month was All of Me, Today, Holding You comes out, and then a couple more before the album hits. But yeah, just the songs that, I mean, I just started writing like crazy out of that experience starting last April when we found out about Bowen to September. And just thought I was going to demo these songs, you know, play it for us in the hospital. Like we listened to them during his first surgery. You know, I had about 6 songs that I just demoed that we just listened to, you know, over and over in the hospital, because they were songs that were written for us to remember God's faithfulness, and a couple of them were worship songs and lullabies actually to play for Bowen. I think I just realized at some point, like, man, you know, these songs are really important to us, and the way that they spoke back to us, I thought I wanted to share that with people. I felt like I was supposed to share that with people. So it's kind of exciting to be able to take something that's been such a really difficult experience for our family and use it in a way like that to hopefully minister to other families going through the same thing.
And I know that has been something, and I've heard you speak on this before, your TCS banquet and stuff, how God has used this in your life, but allowed you then to minister to other people. People coming up to you saying, you know what, my son, my daughter has the same thing, we're going through the same thing, and you've been able to minister to them.
I'm pretty blown away by the amount of people who are walking through tragedy at any given time. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be, really. You know, I think up to this point in our lives, I just haven't been. I never, you know, I'm 31, and until Bowen, I hadn't experienced anything that I would consider life-altering in terms of tragedy that happened, you know, in my direct life, to my direct family. You know, and so I think, yeah, it just opened my eyes to a whole new world of people who are clinging to what we're talking about, you know, because they need to just obviously people who are hurting are gravitating towards hope. They're gravitating towards Christ, and so it's been really neat to be able to talk with people and share in their suffering too. You know.
And we mentioned again that single, the second single from Every Falling Tear, is available, coming out today. You can get it on iTunes today. It's called Holding You.
Yeah, you got it.
So how was it? I mean, obviously this is kind of, I mean, you can say it's a solo album, but really the circumstances around it were so unique that it wasn't like you just had to slough off the dead weight of these guys to get, you know,
Man, I tell you, yeah. Yeah, it was actually really crazy how, it just happened. You know, I never really had like an aspiration, you know, so it just was one of these things where just like, wow, this is just something that came about. You know, I feel like God kept opening the doors. We actually just did it in 5 days. We recorded the whole project in 5 days. And so, we'll see what God can do with it, you know. I mean, He can do, I think, so much through it in the lives of people who are hurting, and that's my prayer. So.
Well, and I know I just did I remember hearing you speak at the TCS banquet, and just hearing how God has, I mean, some lessons, man, He just drives deep.
Oh, yeah.
And it only happens through those difficult circumstances. But.
Yeah, it does, right. I mean, God does use our pain to reveal the purpose of Christ. And I don't know why exactly He's chosen to do that, but He has. And when we can embrace that and trust Christ in the middle of it, our lives really are changed. Yeah, I mean, I believe, you know, when we trust Christ in the middle of tragedy or pain, we flourish more as believers than we ever do in prosperity. I really believe that, and I've come to experience that myself.
We're talking with Matt, with Chris, and with Mark from Sanctus Real. They're going to be in with us for this whole hour, and Matt sharing a little bit about his solo project, Every Falling Tear, written for the Sun Bowen, and the new single, of course, Holding You, coming out today on iTunes.